How do you know if it's recording? Why has Andy left me alone?
Hello, my name is Blaise Simon. I am 14 years old and I have been coming to Innovation Academy School for 5 years, and I am a freshman at Innovation.
I'm my POL. I'm a 14-year-old freshman from Innovation Academy Charter High School. And I think this year at IACS has been really rewarding for me because I feel that I've become more comfortable with the student-teacher community. And I think that it's really nice to know that whenever you have a question or you are concerned about something, you can go to one of your peers or one of your teachers and ask them about it, and they won't judge you on it, and they'll support you with no matter what you have to say about it.
It's been a really big year for me, and I've been, at first I was really scared for the year to start and to be in high school, but now that the year started, I'm kind of sad for it to end because I've had so much fun.
Sure, go ahead, take it away. All right, welcome everyone to Ben Knight's presentation of learning. I'm Tom Hinkle. I have the privilege to be Ben's advisor, and I want to thank all of our panelists for agreeing to be on the panel. So I think not everyone has been on the panel. So you have a rubric before you. The expectations are on the left-hand side. If you think it meets expectations, you check out that it does. If you think it meets, you can see the columns you check. There's space for comments. Whatever comments you have are wonderful. If you were to fill all these spaces, you would be here a long time, so don't feel the need to write something in every single comment space. The panelists will be the first people to be asked for questions, so it might be helpful to jot down questions as you're going, knowing that. And of course, we'll also give them some feedback at the end as well, so out loud. So I think that's everything, and we can just have the panelists introduce yourselves. Again, I'm Tom Hinkle, and I am the Spanish teacher and Ben's advisor. Justin, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Justin Sullivan. I'm his classmate, fortunately enough. Yeah.
That's good enough.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm with Kelsey. I don't have classes with Ben.
Hey, you.
I'm Mary Gaynor. I'm a parent of an Innovation Academy Charter student.
I think I know who it is.
I've been I'm Allison Prince. I have 2 students at Murdoch.
I believe I know you. All right, well, my name is Ben Knight, and this is my presentation of learning. I'm 15 years old and a 9th grader at IACS. I previously went to the Murdoch Middle School, and an overview of this year as a student. I think this year has been pretty excellent academically, although challenging, and I really tried hard to make every piece of my work quality, and I think that hard work has paid off as I received high honors in the first semester. I'll be presenting some projects that demonstrate my focus of learning. After that, I'll give a summary of what I've learned from these projects and connect that to how I've grown as a student, and then I will take questions from the panel and then questions from the audience. Alright, this is my first project, the Spanish Entrevista. Basically, it was a conversation one-on-one with me and my wonderful advisor and Spanish teacher, Mr. Hinkle, and my focus, I need to go back actually. My focus for the projects I'll be talking about is presentation, and my projects require good presentation skills. Presentation skills include preparation, which relates to confidence. If you're more prepared, then you're more confident. And presentation skills also include public speaking skills, such as maintaining eye contact, modulating your voice, speaking distinctly, organization, and being able to think on your feet. I chose presentation as a learning focus because I think it's necessary to have this skill, especially if you go to this school. And I'm also an artist and a musician and a student, and I need to be able to present my work in the real world, and I'll get to that later on.
Format. Start off
with Alex's presentation. And then after his presentation, he is going to open it up to questions from both the audience and the panel. And I'd like to just, make a request that we really honor the time for questions. So the first part after Alex presents, it might take us some time to formulate questions, to digest some of what he's presented to us, and we can take some time to do that, and a little bit of wait time into answering questions in that discussion. Then after that, we'll have some warm feedback, so what did we appreciate about Alex's presentation, what praise do we have for him? And before we start, to our guests, more so than our students, please remember to make sure that your cell phones are off or on silent for this presentation.
Okay, hi, I'm Alec, and I will be your server today. I'm 15, and I'm a freshman here at IACS. I've been with the Innovation Charter School since 5th grade, so that makes 5 years now. And I've really liked it here. And I like to play soccer and guitar. And in the fall this year, I played soccer for the IACS team, and I was offense and defense. And since the fall, I think I've grown a lot academically. At the beginning of the year, it was really hard for me to elaborate on a lot of things and all subjects. And then as the year went on, I think I got a lot better at elaborating in all my work. And I think elaborating is very important because then people don't exactly understand you if you just kind of say a few words. And I elaborated in math a lot because at the beginning of the year I didn't show any of my work, and it's important to show your work because if you get the problem wrong, you have no idea where you messed up. You kind of have to do the whole thing again. You don't know what you need to work on. And then the language arts, if you don't elaborate, not everyone's going to get the point you're trying to get across. So I think that's very important. And throughout middle school, I really struggled with elaborating. And then when I came here, I really improved, I think. And I'd like to show you a couple pieces that I think really showed how I improved in elaborating.
I'm 14 years old, and I attend IACS in Chelmsford. Next year I'll be in Tingsboro. Outside of school, I like to surf and skateboard and go to metal concerts with my friends. This is my first year at the IACS community, and it's going really great for me. It's different than other schools I've been to. This is really hands-on, and the teachers, try to find what's wrong with you and they try to help that, as opposed to, like a public school, where they just don't really care. They just want the work to get done. Made a lot of new friends this year at ICS, and I've also accomplished some great amount of work, great quality work. So I'll start with my learning focus. My learning focus is effective communication. And effective communication is when you present an original idea in the best or most creative way to reach your audience. And I've chose this learning focus because it has been a struggle, because it's a new thing to me, presenting work in a different way, as opposed to, just putting it on blank pieces of paper. You can do PowerPoints and storyboards and podcasts. And that I like about that school, that it's kind of project-based, so you get to, try something new every time there's a new project.
Today I'm going to present two projects to you that I've chosen and that I feel connect to my learning focus. After presenting two pieces to you and telling you about my learning focus, I'll explain what I learned through the projects this year and my plans for the future. First, my main learning focus is taking academic risks. Also, I'm going to incorporate another learning focus into one of the projects because I feel like it connects just as well as my main focus.
All the projects I'll be presenting today went along with the locker organizer project that we worked on for the first semester of science class this year. We got into groups of 4 that we were assigned, and then the objective was to think of an organizer, some type of thing that needed organizing, and then make something that could help organize it. And then we had to make a scale model and then build it. And I had to have a lot of community membership in this project because we were, as I said, we worked in groups, and and my group didn't really know each other very well. We had a new student in our group, and since it was the first week of school, starting the first week of school, we didn't really work so well together, and I need to have a lot of community membership to get through this. And the three projects that I'll be presenting were the research paper, the engineering design statement, and the final PowerPoint that our group worked together to make.
I just wanted to add on to what Mr. Orphan said. I'll be presenting with Education, which is like an online portfolio where students can post their work. So, welcome to POL. I'm Naomi. Thank you for coming. I've been a student here at IACS for about 5 years now, so through middle school. Some of my interests include the arts, culinary, baking, sculpture, stuff like that, and I love to learn. So today I'll be talking about what I've learned this year, as demonstrated in 3 pieces of some schoolwork that I'm particularly fond of and proud of. The first piece I'm going to present is my building design of the future, followed by my propaganda piece, and finished off with my art honors piece. So 2 concepts I've really learned about this year have been innovative solutions and looking at different perspectives, and these 2 for me really connect because to solve a problem you really need to look at the people involved and the certain perspectives involved and how the problem affects all these different parties, and without considering that you can't really solve a problem. And these 2 concepts are particularly important to me because this year I've learned a lot about problems going on in the world, like genocide, global warming, gas is going up, we need to find alternative energy sources, and I kind of want to be, when I grow up, I kind of want to find these solutions, and I'm still, I'm growing up and I'm finding what kind of lifestyle I want to live, so I don't want to be ignorant and go through my life not, trying to solve problems instead of, adding to them, so it's important. The first piece I'm going to present is my building design of the future. And the assignment was to realistically build or create a building that was energy efficient. In class we learned different methods and how a building really stays up and different things to keep it energy efficient, like green rooftops and solar panels and different installations with R values. And R value is the rate that energy passes through a material. So I was particularly proud of, my panel has sketches that I did of an irregular. And I was really proud of what I came up with, and to come to this conclusion I really had to think about what was realistic to build and what people would want to live in, and also how it would affect the environment at the same time. So I found out that being energy efficient is also being cost efficient because you save money on your heating.
I have my social change, and the social change that I picked was global warming because I thought I knew a lot about that issue, and I thought I could do a really good piece on it. At first I was just going to do a small stencil of a gnome that I think represents the world and how we fill it with gnomes. And I finished that fairly quickly, so I thought that I should probably do some more because I think I can do better. And it was already halfway through the project when I started working with the chicken wire that we had, and I made a nose, and I made a face, and it looked like a gnome, and I thought I could make a sculpture. So then I started just forming the head, and then I got to the body, which was really hard for me because I couldn't get the right form, so I stayed after school to finish it and get what I thought would look the best. And then I finished the legs, and I was really pleased with my work, and I started paper macheing it, and that took probably the longest time on it, and I finished maybe 3 days before the semester was over, and it was 3 days before the art show when I needed it to be finished, so I put it in, and in that small amount of time before the art show, I had to paint it. So I used the stencil that I made before of the gnome to stencil and spray paint the outside. And I think this piece shows my focus and self-direction because I had to get a lot of work done in a small amount of time, so I couldn't really socialize with friends, and I just needed to get my work done.
Y John Lennon y Janis Joplin fueron buenísimos. También este año he descubierto que tengo que relajarme más. Gracias por escuchar mi podcast. Adiós.
I felt like the advantage of the podcast is even if you didn't know how to speak Spanish, you could get a slight sense of what I was talking about here. And that also helped, even though a good amount of it was inside jokes. But when taking academic risks with this, I had no idea how to use GarageBand. So that was a bit of a challenge. I had to kind of overcome my comfort zone of staying with what I knew and learn how to use that and thus make the podcast. Also though, I wasn't really sure how to say certain things in Spanish, so I worked a lot on wording, how to kind of explain my year, basically. And so after getting out of that comfort zone, I was able to create a podcast.
Okay, so first we had to make contour line drawings. And so what we did was we had one of the tables in actually the middle of this room, and we had like just some objects on it, like vases, and I think we had a little lavender dish with lavender in it. And we were just supposed to draw what we were seeing. And a contour line drawing is just a drawing, and it doesn't have a lot of detail, and it doesn't have any color, and all it is just lines. But it's still, you can look at it and you can see what the image is about. This is one of them. That's my second one. Third. And fourth. Okay, so then we had to go on Adobe Photoshop, and we had to, we would take it, and we just had to play with it a little bit and just try to make an image that showed a lot of line and showed a lot of the elements and principles. First we had to use complementary colors, and what those are, they're the opposite colors, and they're like, we had blue, orange, yellow and purple, and green and red. And as you can see around the room, a lot of people did it. Look over there, I think you can actually see a lot of what other people did. And we took our images, we put them on, and we used Adobe Photoshop. Like, what I did was I had my one image, one of my pictures, and then I put another picture like a bunch of times in that picture. Like, as you can see, there's like the main picture, which is in orange, and then in blue is the other picture a bunch of times. And I tried to help show this by having, like the objects are the same. Like you can see, I think that very likely vase shows up a bunch of times to try to help show this.
Building I chose to create my project around. The project assignment was we had to design a building with structurally efficient features, like what we just saw, and after that we studied energy efficient buildings and how to make them better with energy. So after that we were assigned to make buildings that would have features of both this and the energy efficient unit. So I'm going to show you a picture of my first draft of my building, which is right here. I'm going to go a little bigger for you. From before, you can see the pyramid shape. You can see the foundation, which is right there. You can see all the basic features that I had from that activity we just did. And but you also notice that I added two things up here. You see that little overhang on the building? And then those lines. I'll explain the overhang first. In the summer, the sun is highest in the sky in the south side of the building, which is where the overhang is. So the first few floors will be covered by that overhang, so the sun will be going in there. So it just prevents like high costs for cooling in the summer. So that is just a simple little feature that.
I'm interested in that your answer just, talked about the grade that you got, and I wonder if you were evaluating yourself, so rather than someone else giving you a grade, do you think that the final piece is better? And if so, how? Or do you think that the original final piece is better? Your propaganda project.
I think that is a lot better than what it started out as. Even though I didn't get graded on my revisions or anything, I think that that would have gotten me a way better grade than this not professional at all propaganda piece. I think that the difference is substantial, and this one's kind of not really propaganda. It's more persuasion. We learned the difference between propaganda, persuasion, and argument in class, and persuasion is when you persuade someone to do something, and this is kind of persuading someone to donate money to a local animal shelter.
What made you choose these two topics for your presentation, Bryce?
I chose this one because I really like doing this, and it was one real personal thing for me, and I don't like the boring right now, so. And plus, I felt this was a really strong piece for me since I had to read the whole book, with the class, but and I had to write something about it, so that made me feel a little better that I did it.
As long as you have a really strong connection to it, it's impressive.
And so I noticed that the newspaper was different than the other two subjects because, as you said, choice block, it's a pass-fail course, so there's not an official grade. So did you feel more or less, or perhaps equally driven to do extension work, to do extra work in newspaper as opposed to math and science?
I would say in the newspaper I was actually more driven because it gets handed out to all the students and the teachers, and not only did I write some of the articles in there, but I actually put all of this together, and that's a pretty good feeling, and I know that'll help me make the newspaper useful.
Yes. You connect your work to your ILP goals, to several goals. If you were to pick one of the goals that you think is the thing that's most helped you to be successful this year, which one would you say?
I would say not giving up. Because that's what mostly stops me. If I give up on a piece or a piece of writing or anything like that, I just stop and I don't finish it. But when I want to finish it, it's too late. So that's a kind of goal that I really want to focus on. Trying to finish my work without getting any frustration.
Anyone else?